guys. So today I'm going to read you a piece. I do a lot of different kinds of writings, and this one, I plan on putting something together for a book at some time in the future. I'm not sure if it's going to be the near future, but it's going to be in the future. And this is one of the pieces that I wrote after getting here to North Carolina, and hopefully it will make its way into my book. And at the end of it, you might be able to tell that it's going to be something that's like a foreshadow to other parts of it. So yeah, I'm just going to start with that. Have you ever felt like you were called to do something that seems so far-fetched or nearly impossible? Did you question God, or did you follow with blind faith? The first day I arrived, I was in disbelief. I couldn't understand why God put me here, in this beautiful house, with this beautiful person who had a beautiful soul. Why was I being welcomed with open arms? Why was I being trusted with all of this? More importantly, why was I surprised? Could it be that I was still struggling with self-acceptance? I felt unworthy. I felt like I didn't deserve all of this. This opportunity was insane. To live in this house with this person who showered me with a godly love, and to be given the time in life to slow down. Have you ever felt like you were called to do something that seemed impossible? Yes, but I sold everything anyways. I packed my things anyways. I drove off from all my loved ones anyways. Even when I asked myself why 1,000 times, I just kept driving. The drive seemed surreal. This is what I dreamed of and aspired for my whole life. The stops in search of postcards, the rain, the bridges, the mountains, the drivers, the accidents, the slamming on my brakes and sliding slightly sideways on the highway because some lady couldn't decide if she wanted on the highway or off the highway. That wasn't supposed to happen. But then again, neither was this. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not from the life I came from. Or was it? I know what it is to live in hell on earth. I was caught in the grips of a disease that demanded everything from my physical possessions to my most special relationships, all the way down to my very own soul. I was a slave for years, and 4 years later, after climbing out of the pits of that self-made hell, here I was, driving down I-75 south towards North Carolina, my lifelong childhood dream. What was there left to do now? I have lived dreams I thought I would never get a second chance at. I've lived out a dream I never even dreamt before. In the ultimate childhood dream I was now living. So what's next? I asked myself as I was driving. What more could I possibly do? And there were so many moments like, what the fuck am I doing? And moments where I felt the overwhelming sense of God's presence. These moments felt like nothing was impossible, not even this. God's love poured in my heart, and His grace wrapped around me like a fuzzy blanket on the coldest of winter evenings. And that is when I heard Him whisper to me the answer to my question, what is there left to do? Anything, my love, anything. But during these moments is when the enemy will attack full force. There was only one act that was going to keep that enemy from turning this humble experience and that humility of that first day into a lack of self-worth that would infest my self-esteem like maggots until I truly believed that I was worthless enough to act on the self-pity and end up isolated and inevitably backed into a corner I couldn't get out of without using or returning home to live a monotonous life that my self-will would run rampant in. That act was prayer. And this would not be the first time that the enemy would attack. The following is an account of those times and the amazing counterattack from the Spirit of God. But the answer is always the same every time. Prayer. So, with that being said, I was trying to kind of find a piece that would go with what I was talking about today. Because the only writing I really did was I started making this list with the ABCs of all like assets or positive affirmations about myself with the ABCs. So that's challenging. I dare you to do it and to try to come up with something for every letter. Um, but I really like words, so and I think it's a really good self-esteem builder too. Um, but I guess what I was getting from that piece was that everybody's called to do something. Everybody has a purpose here, and we may not always know what it is, or we may not always feel that what we're doing at that particular moment is contributing to what we think our calling is or what we think our purpose in our life is. But we definitely all have a purpose. And I know for me, as long as I continue to follow what I believe is God's will in my life, then I don't stray off that path. There may be times where I act out or I do stuff that I'm not proud of still today. But even when that happens, as long as I have faith and trust and I believe in my higher power, who I choose to call God, is that's the ultimate relationship right there. And as long as I can believe in that, then I can believe that anything that happens, even if it's just an outburst by me or a character behavior that I haven't changed yet or that I struggle with, um, I know that God can take that and turn that into something. Or even like the saddest or most devastating experiences in our lives. I truly believe that God can take those and turn them into something great. Now, I don't believe in a God or a higher power that that does bad things or that wills horrible, tragic things on us. But I do believe that sometimes as humans we can perceive something as a tragedy when it's really not. I know that when God was detoxing my life, as I say it, when he was taking all of these things that I thought were so great in my life and he was taking them and doing something else with them and getting rid of them out of my life, I thought it was tragic. I experienced it like grief and loss and horrible things were happening in my life. But really, it wasn't a bad thing at all. So sometimes I can perceive things as tragic when they're really not, and it's just God trying to help me, and that's just another reminder that I don't know the plan, that only God knows the plan, not me. Um, but I also know that sometimes true tragedies, really do happen, but I believe that God can be what happens after that, whatever it may be, a natural disaster, the loss of a loved one, anything like that. Like, I don't believe that God makes those things happen, but I believe that afterwards he can take them and turn them into an experience or help you to grow in some way from it. You know what I mean? So I just want to kind of encourage you today that whatever your unique traits are that you have, like you have unique traits about yourself, your personality, and that those kind of contribute to your calling or your true purpose in life. And I want you to kind of, I want to encourage you and challenge you to list those things, whether it be in your head or on a piece of paper with a pen. Just think about those things um, that are your unique qualities. I mean, maybe when you laugh, you snort, or, maybe it's something quirky that you do or something weird about you. Or maybe it's like a weird kind of food that you like, whatever it is, that makes you you, that makes you unique. And I want to encourage you to embrace those things today, embrace them. And in the following days, I want to encourage you to be more conscious and more aware of them and embrace those things, because that's going to ultimately help you to feel like more comfortable with yourself. And then you're going to be able to actually follow your true calling and your true purpose, because it's not always easy. And sometimes I have to remind myself that when I feel like the road is so hard, or I feel like there's one tragedy that I'm experiencing after another, it's just because my calling is greater than what I'm living up to right now. It's greater than that, and if it seems like this person's had it so easy and my road has been so hard, my calling just calls for something different, for different experiences to happen in my life. So I hope that you can get something out of all of that. It's really was weighing on my heart today, about people being unique and individuals, and that we should embrace our individuality. We should embrace our uniqueness. So go out and embrace yourself and your weird quirks, and go with love. No matter what you do, do it with love. See you tomorrow.